Could Porzingis' injury alter NBA history? One of the biggest storylines heading into Game 3 is the status of Porzingis when he was diagnosed with a torn, I don't know how to even pronounce his injury, to be honest. And I'm not saying that to be funny. His injury is an injury that supposedly is like very rare, it doesn't happen very often. And the medical jargon as to how it's described is hard to pronounce, so that's why I'm not even saying it. So I did a little research, and obviously I'm not a doctor, but basically what it was saying is that it's a torn tendon in his ankle, but kind of like the back of his ankle, because like there's 3 tendons that are connected. I'm going based off what they said in the video. And again, I may be misrepresenting what they said a little bit just because I'm not an expert here and I tried my best to understand. But basically it's something to do with his ankle, and it doesn't necessarily mean that he can't play. Like he still has some movement with his foot and like he can walk and stuff like that, but there might be a lot of pain. And obviously the doctor didn't say this in the video, but you know, just an assumption based on whenever you tear anything, this could lead to more serious injuries down the road as well, because he may be, you know, overcompensating and putting pressure on other tendons or limbs on both legs. So like that's just a, you know, risky situation. So with all that said, it does make sense why they're saying day to day, because again, technically in the video they were saying that he could still, you know, walk and play and stuff like that. He just obviously won't be 100%. But I feel like I'm not sure if I was the Celtics, I would play him at least for Game 3. And again, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to give medical advice, but I'm just saying like a tear of anything, regardless of whether or not you can still walk on it, it's still a tear or a torn something. So to me, I would personally be surprised if we saw him at all the rest of the finals. I know that's not the reports that are coming out and nobody has any timeline yet. But to me, when you know something is torn, regardless, like it's hard for me to believe that someone's going to tear something and then continue to play in the NBA finals where everyone's playing the highest level basketball. Like this isn't preseason, you know, people are playing 150% on defense and offense. So it would be shocking to me if we saw him in the rest of the NBA finals at all. But again, I'm not a doctor, so maybe a couple of days off is okay. I'm not sure. I'm just saying personally, I would be shocked just based on hearing something is torn. So what does this mean for the Celtics and the Mavericks and the NBA Finals in general and just history here? Unfortunately, this is not new that an important player gets injured during the finals or before the finals. Like this unfortunately happens a lot of the years. And these kind of things can alter NBA history, alter the finals outcome. This could really be series changing. Because in my opinion, they don't win games 1 and or 2 without Porzingis. Like, if Porzingis is not there, he doesn't play game 1 or 2, I think the Mavericks at least get one of those games. I don't know which one, because think about it. Porzingis in game 1, I believe that the Celtics were only up 1 at that point before he came in. Like, they were neck and neck, and then all of a sudden Porzingis comes in and scores like 18 points and goes like 10 for 12 from the field and just went insane. And that basically ended the game because then they were up 20. His 18-20 points literally put them up 20. And then in game 2, although he didn't have the explosion of points the way he did in the first game, we obviously know Drew Holiday was the leading scorer, but I just feel like Dallas would have taken one of those games. I don't know which one because it would just be a completely different series. I think this gives Dallas a really, really big opportunity to go back to Boston, assuming that Porzingis doesn't play in games 3 and 4 and the rest of the series. Like, that's just my thoughts. This gives Dallas a really good chance to go back 2-2 and potentially win this series. I said it in my video yesterday, I think it was, when I was talking about if Dallas goes back 2-2, it's a brand new series again. It's neck and neck. Obviously 2-2 is a tie, but like the momentum will be completely different. But here's why the Porzingis injury is so significant. I talked about this, I think, before the series started. Porzingis gives them a competitive advantage that basically no one has in the league. Porzingis is 7'3", but he could shoot threes like a guard. And besides the fact that he shoots threes like a guard, and he's shooting like over 40%, which is a very good percentage, But if you ever notice when Porzingis takes threes, he's not even on the three-point line. He's like 29, 30 feet out. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but like he's way behind the line because you have to think about it. He's so tall. He has extra strength and force. Like scientifically, I can't like describe it. Like that may not be scientifically true, but you know what I'm saying? Like because he's so much bigger, he can go further out. And it's kind of like if he's closer. Does that make sense? So now not only are you bringing the bigs, Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford, out of the paint, taking away their ability to protect the paint, block shots, rim protect, get defensive rebounds and stuff like that. So now you're taking away their paint presence. That's number one. But not only are they standing on the perimeter trying to guard Porzingis on the perimeter, which is not easy, but they're also, again, not on the line. They're even further out. So now they have even more ground to cover. So it's super hard. So now that Porzingis is not here, Dallas should be able to not only protect the paint and not be giving up any of those. Like Drew Holiday got so many easy layups in game 2. And Drew Holiday is a very good player and he's crafty. So obviously he got his way around. It's not just that Dallas gave them up, right? Like Drew Holiday had something to do with that. He was making good moves. What I'm saying is Drew Holiday had so many layups in game 2, and if Porzingis is not playing game 3, you can best believe the rim protection for Dallas will be way better because you can expect them to be in the paint. And then on the defensive side, Porzingis has been very good as well, protecting the rim, blocking shots. He's been breaking up some of those lobs and just making sure that the Mavericks are not getting easy points in the paint. Well, kind of the same thing. I think Dallas is going to have a way easier time getting to the basket, and I think we could see that Lob City, even though it's obviously from the Clippers, but that Lob City 2.0, whatever you want to call it, show up again in games 3 and 4 in big time. Like, I would not be surprised to see Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively have close to 20 points combined between the two of them just on lobs. Like, I really see that happening. Then you got Derek Jones Jr. also who can fly. But I said it in my video yesterday, and I said it in my video before the series started. I said if Dallas wants to win this series, regardless of, who's on the floor, Luka and Kyrie have to be special. Like that has to be one of the factors in the series. Like I said, if Porzingis is not playing, I expect the Lob City to be back. I expect Dallas to be better all around because it obviously makes it easier for them when a player as good as Porzingis is not on the floor. But if Kyrie doesn't, play the way we expect Kyrie to play, maybe they still win game 3, but they can't win the series if Kyrie does not, raise his level of play. And I'm not trying to come at Kyrie. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or nothing like that. But he obviously has not done enough in games 1 and 2, scoring-wise, offensively. And whatever the reason is for his struggles, we don't know. But if they want to win the finals, he has to score more. Like he just does, and he has to be efficient as well. So this Porzingis injury could literally alter NBA history because if Dallas is able to come back 2-2, go back to Boston 2-2, and let's just say Porzingis doesn't play for the rest of the series, and let's just say that changes the whole thing and Dallas wins, the story is completely different because now you're going to have a storyline of Luka won his first ring as a Maverick at 25. How great is he? And obviously we know he's great, but like that'll be a storyline. Oppositely on Boston's side, there's going to be a big story around Jason Tatum, especially if he doesn't also up his, scoring, shooting percentage and be more efficient, about Tatum's poor performance in the finals and they lost again. And a lot of blame will probably go on Tatum, whether that's fair or not. And so you gotta be careful because NBA history can be altered really fast.